the past few weeks and months, businesses, buildings, and statues have been vandalized. People have been verbally abused and physically attacked. It's unacceptable. Hate, violence, and discrimination have no place in Canada. This is not who we are as Canadians.
I'm a politically neutral person, but today I feel I have to talk about this complicated and very important topic: anti-Asian racism in North America. I have lived in Canada for almost 17 years, and I call Canada home. However, during this COVID-19 pandemic, there has been a spike in race-related incidents targeting the Asian community in Canada, US, and across the entire world. For the past few weeks, in US alone, Stop AAPI Hate received over 1,700 incident reports of verbal harassment and physical assaults towards Asian Americans. The logic behind this is Asian people are the source of the COVID-19. When I saw those videos and news, I was horrified and deeply concerned. Any type of anti-Asian racism should not be tolerated. There are 4 types of anti-Asian racism. The first type is physical assault. This is the most common type, usually very brutal and shocking. The victim was usually being spat on, pushed, or even punched in the public places.
Everywhere around me was very empty, so this person had to run to make contact with us, and they body slammed me and kicked my dog, and my dog screamed.
You guys, I'm not a virus.
I feel
knocked me pretty much unconscious. He told me, "You motherfucking coronavirus."
The second type is verbal assault. Even though this type doesn't involve any physical injury, but it can be out of your comfort zone and be very alarming. The words alone can be very hurtful.
So I take care of COVID hospitalized patients. So recently I was taking a ride on the subway, and as I was walking through the subway station, a gentleman approached me and started yelling racial slurs at me, which is something that I've honestly never experienced before, especially in a city as diverse as New York. So he walked up to me and he said, "You dirty Chinese, you damn Chinese. This is you dirty Chinese." And he just kept saying that over and over again.
You have this man who was walking by the shop and spat at the shop. And he says, you know, F you. You like F you Chinese. You have the coronavirus.
The third type is a political influence. This is happening at most elite levels. It is related to the economics, reputation, and maintaining the control of their own populations, etc. Sometimes it's hard for the regular citizens to understand. The recent example is that a conservative leadership candidate who was questioning Dr. Theresa
Tam, we sent an email out today asking, does she work for Canada or for China?
And the Prime Minister had to respond to it.
Intolerance and racism have no place in our country.
The last type is media influence. I think this is the most severe one. The impact of media on racialized minorities can be very huge and damaging, especially the famed medias with very large platforms.